Okay, so um, this is gonna be another video about Kung Fu, specifically about Wing Chun. And in this video, I'm gonna cover certain philosophical ideas of Wing Chun because I feel like it's important to understand the art more than anything, because without understanding how to use a gun, the proper technique, without understanding how to use a bow and arrow, you're not going to be able to use it. So you have to first understand. Okay, so the whole point of Wing Chun, as the legend goes, it's that there was this crane fighting a snake. And how the crane is going to fight is use its wings and just buffer the snake, blow air at it, and try to, touch it lightly with its wings. Because if it gets bitten on its flesh, we're not talking about feathers, we're talking about flesh. If it gets bitten on its flesh, it's going to die because the snake has poison. It's the same thing with Wing Chun. The whole premise of Wing Chun is I'm going to touch my opponent. Okay, it sounds really weird because a lot of the movies you see them going home, 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 or whatever, right? But that's the wrong mentality, because if you try to do that, you're gonna miss, right? If you push a hard throw out, right? Obviously, if you are confident, you can. But if you push a hard throw out and you miss, that's gonna be very difficult to pull back. Real Wing Chun happens when instead of pushing hard, you think of gentle. I'm not gonna push the arm really hard. Instead of that, I'm gonna tie together a bunch of light touches that is gonna push him out of position, push him out of his comfort zone, and I can maybe go in and do a chain punch. Right? Even the chain punch itself is telling you what the art does. The chain punch, the reason Wing Chun doesn't have a hook or a jab or any of those things is just because if you throw a hook, you're out of position and you're not able to use a Wing Chun. Right? That's why you see a lot of television shows where it's a real life Wing Chun master fighting some other guy, and the Wing Chun master, what he does is he, does the chain punch over and over again right off the bat, and really that puts him out of position. If you are out of position, how can you mess with your opponent's position, right? If you even look at proper technique on the wooden dummy, which I hope you can see. I'm going to move it over so you guys can see properly. Proper technique on a wooden dummy isn't, or whatever, right? Proper technique on a wooden dummy is just light. You have to just be on the dummy, you mess with your touch. Focus not, this is why the wooden dummy is supposed to be pretty heavy, because you're supposed to feel, it's supposed to mimic the reaction speed of a normal person, right? Because it's very light. As soon as you stop, you have to do something else. You can't be stuck in the middle of a move. You don't want to be stuck. Alright, as long as you're buffeting your wings and you're hitting the snake with your feathers, he's not going to be able to accurately hit you. So even this move is very big, right? This move is, if they have their hands up, you lift, right? So that. Okay, and you have to train this for a long time. Like, you have to get really comfortable with your wooden dummy, right? So it doesn't matter so much what you hit them with. It doesn't really matter. That's why, you know, a lot of people, as I said before, they kind of like, oh yeah, I try to block like this and it doesn't work. I can't block them. Because you're not trying to block them, you're just trying to touch them. As soon as you touch them, they're gonna be out of position slightly. Because they're trying to punch you accurately, right? When they try to, no one when they're trying to punch, they don't aim beside the head, right? Because if you aim beside the head and he doesn't move it, obviously if you have a read, okay, he's gonna move there. I'm gonna aim beside the head. But if you can't really tell, if you're just standing still like this, which is what the Wing Chun stance is, you just stand still, no one's gonna aim beside your head, right? They're gonna aim for your head. So that means that every time that you do something to the arm, then obviously he's gonna be pushed out of position, right? If I'm here and I'm making stuff happen to your arm and your arm is not fully moving the way you want to, that's a good thing, right? That's why even if you are breaking structure, you're going against, there's 108 movements, right, in Wing Chun. Those are sequential moves, right? It's, if I'm gonna go here first and then I go here, right? That's a very simple move. It's 1, 2, right? That's because here you lift and you open, and here you can boom, right? You strike. As long as you're on the inside, boom, boom, strike. Those are sequential. But the reason you go on the Wing Chun dummy even is because you're gonna be bound to make mistakes. You're supposed to freestyle, and when you freestyle, you have to make mistakes. Even when you make mistakes, you have to find out on the spot how. You're not supposed to take, Tai Chi is Tai Chi, Wing Chun is Wing Chun. You're not supposed to go very slowly. You have to go fast, so that even if you do make a mistake, you recover in time. Even if it's not perfect, right? Okay, see, I just did this. I did this. I did that. Right? So either you hold your hands around your head and you do boxing, or mid-fight you switch into Wing Chun. Right? You hit it lightly. Don't commit. Boxing is for committing. Boxing is where every single one of your shots is almost, every single one of your shots is like 70%, around 60, 70. Right? That's boxing. You know, because if you don't hit, you're out of position. You're out of position, they're gonna counter. If you don't put oomph into it and you're out of position, they're gonna counter. Right? They're gonna counter, boom, counter, boom, counter, boom. So that's boxing though. Every single one of your shots puts, even if boom, it puts you slightly out of position for a little bit. Wing Chun has a different approach. It focuses on, I'm not gonna get out of position. Nope, I'm not going to. I'm gonna make sure that I'm always 2 feet steady, always hands in front of me, dividing me and my opponent, and focusing on the center line. And when I punch, it's gonna be very even. My punches are gonna have little deviation from what's the word? I just forget. Deviation from structure, right? You want to keep your structure even as you're punching, because there's people are like, oh, okay, with the Wing Chun, there's so many things on the internet which literally make no sense. Do you have people practicing the Wing Chun punch on the wall? Like, that's not supposed to happen. You're not supposed to practice punching against the wall, because when you practice punching against the wall, you put force into it. When you practice your Wing Chun punch, you should aim for technique and punch the air, focusing not on punching with power, but punching with accuracy, punching with keeping your technique intact, right? You have to punch with your technique right there, right? You have to punch your technique so that you don't get out of position. And anytime You can stop, boom, stop, boom, stop. Right? You can do that anytime. That is the key of chain punching in Wing Chun. So then there's things, how do we train, right? There's push, there's puiso, I don't know what it's called. Chi sao, right? Right? Chi sao. Okay, chi sao. Chi sao is, moving from the wooden dummy to real life, to sparring. But with chi sao, you also have to do it fast. Some people, they wait. They go boom, and then no, you have to be there. You have to be making mistakes. People practice perfect chi sao, and it makes no sense because if you practice perfect chi sao, you're not getting the full, the full experience. On the Wing Chun dummy, you have to make mistakes, but the dummy doesn't hit back. So you practice on a person, and then after you practice on a person, then you go into sparring. Okay, sparring. The first step in sparring comes with the touching. Okay, it's called touch. It's in karate. It's in a lot of arts. Okay, when does the fight start? Before the fight, you have intimidation tactics. Hoo, hoo. So, but other than that, that's part of it. But when the fight starts, I heard this from Karate Master, and he said the moment the fight starts is with the touch. Okay, as soon as you touch, that's when the fight starts. Okay, so when you touch, the fight starts, right? I touch, boom, I touch. As soon as it touches, because boxing is not. Okay, boxing is like two snakes fighting each other. I'm gonna bite you, and then you're gonna bite back, and I'm gonna bite you. And Wing Chun, it starts when they come and they touch you. As soon as there's a touch, but you want the touch to be under control. Okay, so that's why Wing Chun fork is for closing the distance. Okay, it's very directional. I'm gonna close the distance. Close the distance. That is the most important thing. And it has nothing. There's no bouncing. There's no pivoting. There's no pivot. It's just basically very simple. I'm gonna move, and then I'm gonna keep turning and facing my opponent straight on, because the shortest distance to my opponent is the straight line. And I'm gonna focus on controlling the distance. Controlling the distance meaning I'm gonna control how far I am from my opponent, so that I can just step in and bop. You see that? Bop. So I step in. Right? I step in. Bop. See that? So I'm here, boom. Here, boom. I don't aim for his head. That's the key difference. Wing Chun doesn't aim for the head. Alright? In so many arts, they aim for the head. Muay Thai, kick to the head, elbow to the head. That's fine. But Wing Chun is more clever. Okay? So it aims for the arms. Because everybody knows that if you're a human being, your arms are attached to your chest. And if I can hit your arms and move your arms, that's going to reveal your head to me. Also, it's going to turn your body in certain ways that you might not like. Right? So that's why the touch. If you can come and they come and you go boom, that's fine. Okay? Just even if you really don't want to go practice in a Wing Chun gym because you don't believe that it's real, that's fine. You can get a couple of your bodies, make a Wing Chun dummy. I made this using 3 stools. It's very cheap. This cost me like $20, which actually was free because I had stools in my house. But you can make one of these. You can train with your buddies. If you want to take, look, the most important thing, as I said, in any art is to understand. Because when you understand, you can shift the same key fundamentals over to other things, right? So what do we learn here? We learned that Wing Chun is about hitting the arms. Alright, and that's not even a new theory for boxing. A lot of boxing coaches know that you can hit the arms. Alright, but I want you to try if you want to. If you don't feel like doing Wing Chun, that's fine, okay? But you can try to hit the arms. Alright, aim for the arms. And don't, when you aim for the arms, don't go all in. Okay, you don't want to go all in when you go with the arms. Because if you hit the arms all in, your arm is also going to shift. Right? If you hit it all in, it's going to jar your arm. Right? That's why in Wing Chun, as I said, it's just touching. If you hit the arm with bah, hit the arm with a jab, you know, and he's going to stay here and your arm is going to move and you're going to be out of structure. That's why you just tap. You see a lot of boxers do this. It's Wing Chun basically. They tap, and then boom. Tap, and then boom. But Wing Chun takes it one step further. It takes it puts up combinations for tapping, right? So it's not just boom, boom, boom. It's not just that. It's 1, 2, 3 around your arm. So I'm making combinations not only for your head and your body, but also for your arms. That creates a complete system, right? A system where I'm going for the head, I'm going for the body, I'm going for the arm, all of them together, and that's gonna create a complete system. And that's what Wing Chun is. That's why Wing Chun is useful. But you have to remember, focus on touching. If you really want to hit a hard hook to the body of a Wing Chun person, of a boxer using Wing Chun, go ahead, it's fine, right? There's not really a certain time or place where everything is, oh, this is wrong. No, there's a lot of different ways you can approach problems. But you have to understand that if you hit them with a hook to the body, it's gonna, make your arm hurt too. But again, it's also a possibility. If you want to hit them with the hard hook to the arm, hit them with the hard hook. Just don't hit them on the elbow. Hit them on the arm. It's gonna make them turn, and then you go boom, 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 boom. So that's it.